Just gonna do a quick video on, yeah, I guess how to sort of, I don't know, handle overdosing if you are overdosing, or maybe if someone else is, but we'll just go from your perspective. So if you suspect you are having an overdose, here's the first thing: if you think you are having an overdose, don't fuck around second guessing yourself, thinking, oh, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I'll do something else. Don't want the police involved, don't want the ambulance involved. Just get everyone involved. If it ends up that you're wrong and you're not having an overdose, you'll feel silly. But if it ends up that you are right and you are having an overdose and you don't go to a hospital or you don't seek help, you're fucking dead. So, it's better not to second guess yourself. That's the first thing to say. Uh, Try and remember, before you go into hospital, and try and have written down as well, just in general when you take drugs, exactly what drugs you're on, if you can remember what dose or roughly what dose. If you have friends around you, let them know if you think that they can help you or in a state to help you. If not, yeah, just try your best to call an ambulance, call whatever services you can. Do not mix drugs together. Unless you know what you're doing. If you really understand chemistry and you understand overdose chemistry and you think you're overdosing and you know exactly what drug to combine with what other drug to combine in that situation, then yeah, feel free to do that and help yourself. But if you are not qualified to do that, you should probably not mix your drugs with any other drugs, because you'll end up overdosing even harder and increasing your likelihood of death and permanent injury. So, if you're on an overdose, generally, don't take more drugs. It should be obvious, and you would think it was obvious, but a lot of people, when they're having an overdose, their solution to having an overdose is just to take more fucking drugs. Which, yeah, obviously, that's a ridiculous solution. Obviously, that is a ridiculous solution. Obviously, but yeah, you'd be surprised how many people think, oh, well, I'm overdosing on this, so I'll take this and I should be golden now. That sometimes works, but, generally you're just going to end up fucking yourself more. It's the same with people taking cocaine and alcohol and thinking, oh, this will be right. It's just up and a downer. Well, actually, cocaine and alcohol turn into one different chemical when combined together, so, it's not actually smart to take them together. The next thing is to remain calm if you can, and just sort of like, if you think, oh, I'm dying, I'm going to go and try and do something crazy in my last moments, just don't, because why would you need to in your last moments if it is your last moments? If you're thinking to yourself, holy shit, how am I supposed to stay fucking calm, Chroma? I might be fucking dying, holy fuck. First of all, realize that, if you do fucking spaz out, you might end up dying from, having a sort of heart attack, bring it on with your own anxiety. You're just fucking yourself over more by not remaining calm in terms of that. Also, you should remain calm because, you might need to tell people, very specific things, what you can do, how you feel, your symptoms, whilst you're, really, really tripping or on a lot of a very, very, very strong intoxicating substance like MDMA, cocaine, LSD. So you'll want to remain calm and try your best to stay congruent. Don't try to do too much. If you're on a stimulant, for example, don't try to, run around and think. Just try to take it slowly if you're overdosing on a stimulant, because you want your heart rate to go down, not up. This is another reason to relax, but this doesn't always apply for everything. Another reason as well is, if you are dying, if you genuinely think you are going to die, you don't want your last moment to be that panic. Here's a logical reason. If I'm wrong and, oh shit, I'm dying, oh, it's awful. If it is your last moment, there's no point sitting there and thinking, fuck, I'm dying, well, this is the end of me, oh, I'm scum, I'm on drugs, oh, I'm gonna cry, oh, fuck, I'm dead. Because it's your last fucking moment. You need to try to enjoy that. If this advice doesn't work, you need to try to enjoy that, yeah? And then the next thing is, where are you overdosing, if you're overdosing in a very, bad neighborhood, you need to locate, the nearest friendly neighbor or something, and you need to try to remember that you can't always rely on that. So sometimes you just got to call that emergency number and hope they work. Maybe you can't talk to them, but just dial that number. Well, as soon as you think, shit, I'm having an overdose, just dial it. And if you're in some major fucking gang shit, just get away from the area. Just do your best to get away, and just hope that they can get to you. I know that's grim to say, just hope. You're hanging on to hope you could die any moment, and you sat there hoping that they come to this nasty area. You might die, yeah, you might die, but your chances are significantly heightened if there's someone actually coming for you. If you think you're having an overdose and nobody's coming for you, you're probably going to die. That's just logical. And yeah, like I said, this is a thing to emphasize on. And it's happened to me, like I thought this before, and I thought I'm having an overdose, but I realised I wasn't. If you think you are having an overdose, if you genuinely think you are having an overdose, don't just think, oh, it'll be fine, I don't want to cause trouble for my parents, my family, there's, I'm a Catholic, I'm a good Catholic, it'd be better if I just didn't say anything and just maybe I'm not overdosing. No, if you really think you're overdosing, fuck that. Don't die. Try to stay alive. And try to stay awake if you can. Because if, for example, you're on a downer of some kind, let's say you're on a shit ton of benzos, right? Or you're having like alcohol poisoning, shit ton of alcohol. Try to stay conscious, because if you fuck up and you didn't dial the right number, you need to check this. You need to dial several times. You need to get to where you are. If you fuck up and you end up going unconscious in the middle of the road or something, you might still be fucking dead. You might not even be having an overdose, but you might die. So don't go unconscious. Do your best to stay conscious. Whatever it takes to keep you conscious, just try and stay conscious, because that is going to keep you alive. If you have to get completely naked and run around for the adrenaline rush, just fucking do it, because you need to stay conscious. You need to do your best to stay conscious. Not just to, stay living and stay out of dangerous situations, but, so you can describe what's wrong with you, basically, And yeah, like I said, if you do for some stupid reason end up taking other drugs, with the drugs you're already overdosing on, make a note of it and try to make a physical note of it, or several physical notes, so that when they come to examine you, it's easy to find. Because you might go unconscious, or you might go into a coma. You could go into a coma, which is consciousness but different type. You might end up having a heart attack. Numerous things could happen to you, yeah? And you can't display that information to them. Let's say you're having a seizure, or like some people I knew who did this when they were on drugs, when they're on hallucinogens. You can't communicate what drugs you're on when you're in a sort of state of you can't, consciously do that. So you need to have on you a note of what you've taken, if you can, when you've taken it. Several notes are better than one, obviously, because you might not be able to communicate that message. You have to think before an overdose, what can I communicate? What's my best line of plan? Let's execute the plan. So let's say you're at the very top of a house as well. So get yourself out of dangerous situations, and you've got to think, what is a dangerous situation? Well, if you're in a penthouse, a high-rise penthouse, you probably do better getting in the elevator and calling from there than you will at the top of the penthouse. Let's say you're on a lot of hallucinogens. You might fall off your fucking penthouse balcony anyway, even if you're not having an overdose. So you'd be better off calling them, in the elevator, because okay, you'll be that fucking weird guy or weird woman crying in the elevator having an overdose, but you won't fall out of your penthouse apartment and end up dead anyway. You see where I'm going with that? So that's what I'm saying, and it's the same with like, you might be in a swimming pool or something thinking you're having an overdose. Get the fuck out of the swimming pool, especially if there's no one there, because, if you drown in that swimming pool having an overdose, you're dead. You're dead. That's another thing. So these are important things to think of. If you're in a bad situation, like I said, maybe it's a violent situation, you need to get out of there. You need to survive. You can't think like, oh, I'm worried about this. You don't have enough to lose to be worrying about that. Your life is already on the line. There's nothing really more valuable than that. So anything you do to try and help yourself now from that moment is a positive. You know, even if it means there's a lot of dangerous people around you and you're trying to get away from them, just do it. You know, if you're having a really, really, really fucking major overdose, you're possibly going to die anyway. You might as well just fucking go for it. Try to get out of there, you know. Your fears that you would normally have in general in day-to-day life, you know, try to abandon them. But rationally, this is the right time to abandon them, because if you don't get over these minor things, you will die. That's the bottom line. Yeah? So, alright, try to stay calm. Make sure you call emergency services. Get out of a dangerous situation, whether that means, you know, you're in a place that's cold, or, you know, it's temperature, maybe, you know, in a balcony, or maybe, you know, for some reason you've got fucking 400 knives round you. Maybe you're in some fanatic chef's house and he's got 10 collections of knives. You know, that's pretty potentially dangerous stuff. What you want to do is get away from the room that's got the most knives, you know. Just logic there, you know. Think about it that way. And yeah, remain calm. Remain calm is the best thing. Try and think you're not dying, and if you do think you're dying, you try and remain calm about it, because as I say, if you're going to die, you want to enjoy the experience of death. You don't want your last moments to be suffering. You want your last moments to be joyful, right? And as well, don't stress afterwards. You know, the next day. Don't worry about the next day. You know, you might get shit from people, you might not, but in reality, the next day, yeah, you'll probably feel shit, but you'll still be alive, right? So who cares? Yeah, you're not going to feel anything the next day if you give too much of a shit. You know what the reaction of the people is going to be the next day. So you got to think of it in that way. Anyways, I hope that helped. I'm not sure if it did or not. You know, I waffled on about the same points a bit, but they are important. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see you another time, I guess.